Hello, everybody, and welcome to York City Chronicles. We have quite a lot to talk about today, but let's start off with what a performance we had against Bristol Rovers. If you've seen the matchday vlog, you know the scenes were unbelievable. Brilliant way to be welcomed back into League Two with a performance like that. What a debut for Harry Boys. And on to the next, which is Rotherham away. And at the time of recording, York have been selling out the away end like absolute crazy. They sold out the allocated tickets and were given more and sold out of those. And if I load this up right now, just to get a live check on tickets, we have 2 blocks left of the complete away end with seats. One block has 4, 5, 6, 7 seats left in an entire block. And the other block has quite a few in that one, to be fair, but still, as of right now, if we weren't to sell any more, which I'm sure we will sell a lot more close to there, but if we weren't selling any more, that is a ridiculous amount of fans to take, and I absolutely love it. Of course, it helps being the first away day. Of course, it helps being, I'm pretty sure it's the closest away day, but what a way to bet the boys in League Two, especially after a great performance. Look forward to that. There will be the matchday vlog, and it's going to be a very good game. Now, a few days ago, Scott Lindsey admitted that York City would potentially have to explore the market for a striker before the summer window closes on September the 1st. This obviously comes from Josh Stones being out for a good amount of weeks now due to a back injury. Depot looked like he took a knock in the Bristol game, but also just doesn't look fully there right now. So whether that is fitness or a knock, whatever, I'm assuming it's more of a knock. With the statement about the potential to dip into a transfer market for a striker. The issue is for the striker, I'm not going to be negative about this. I know people accuse me of being pessimistic. That's not what this is. My issue with the striker is that, let's say we brought in a very good striker for this level, okay? And he's banging him in. When Josh Stones returns, is he going to be able to match that? Or if we brought in someone whose sole purpose is to be placeholder, then Josh Stones comes back. Back injuries can reoccur quite a lot. If Josh Stones then gets another back injury, I know we've got Ollie Pearce, and in my opinion, Ollie Pearce should be played up front in Stones' absence. Depot should always be coming off the bench, in my opinion, for the last 15, 20 to either, have a burst of energy at the end against some tired defenders or to try and just lock down the game if we're ahead. But, it is what it is. Also, I've just realised that my, you can see how wet my sleeve is. It's pissing down. Well, it was pissing down outside, and I had to bring the bins in. So we move. So, in terms of a striker, I think a brilliant striker, brilliant's a strong word, for him, if you look at his history, a brilliant addition, what I would do, personally, just get his things up so I can actually know what I'm talking about, is... There we go. I think a good addition that wouldn't cost a lot of money aside from wages, maybe an agent fee if he's got one, which I think he probably will, to be fair. I personally would go for the current free agent Kyle Hudlin, formerly of Newport, Huddersfield, 6'9" striker. I think his record isn't amazing as a striker. I'm not going to sit here and start praising him and saying he's lower league Haaland. Do you know what I mean? But I think for the way York play, the amount of crosses York like to get in, I think having a 6'9" striker would really, really help York in the short term. I'm not saying this is a long-term solution. It definitely wouldn't be and shouldn't be a long-term solution. But I think in the short term, in Josh Stones' absence, it would be a very helpful way that York could play, especially in this league, where there's going to be a lot of games where it's a lot harder to break down in the final third to get the final pass, which was the issue in the Crawley game. We were getting down the flanks. The issue was getting the final pass or the final cross to somebody. And I feel like if you have a Kyle Hudlin, there's more chance of it getting to him. Now his goal tally is not great at all, but again, I think it's a thriving in your scenario. Okay, we're not bringing him in to be scoring like Ollie Pearce or scoring like Josh Stones. I think it would be a good player to bring in to help in the air with. Sorry, just someone emailed. To help in the air, and I think for a free player, it would be low risk. Sign him on a 1-year deal or a 6-month deal with an option to extend, something like that, just to bring him in. And then if it goes tits up, all that's been wasted is some wages. Money isn't as horrific, and tight for York. Now we're in League Two. We're not money bags, we're not like League Two PSG, but we'd be able to negotiate a decent thing with someone like Hudlin, in my opinion. If we were going to pay for a striker, I think somebody like Matt Rush from Boreham Wood would be a very good player to bring in. He's only 25. He's already off the mark in the National League. I know National League and League Two are very different, but he's already off the mark. Scoring 5 in 2 so far. So he's got the form. He's been very good for Boreham Wood since signing with them in 2024, which is currently, if this is up to date, 89 appearances with 51 goals. That's a very good turnaround. And with him being 25, if he's not a replacement for Stones, he could be a replacement for Pearce down the line, with Pearce being 32. Pearce could go for a few more years, or he could drop off. You never know. With a player of that age, that's football. But I think bringing in someone like Matt Rush would do wonders and would be a much more long-term situation than Kyle Hudlin. Now, that is with a minimal research into strikers' opinion. I'm not going to say that I've sat here scouring reports and everything. So there's could be plenty of people in the comments being like, I disagree with Hudlin, but I think person A, person B, and person C would be perfect. That's perfectly fine. I'm not sitting here pretending like I've sat here for hours doing research on these people. These are just quick who I think we should pay for and grab them. I'd grab a free, which would be Hudlin, and I think Matt Rush. I think it'd be easier to entice Matt Rush than others with him being in the National League. Yes, Boreham Wood are good, and obviously Boreham Wood have been refusing to sign. Refusing to sell their winger. His name escapes me right now. Just a shame, because imagine if we'd have signed him, that'd be incredible. There you go. Yeah, they turned down a 1 million bid for Abdul Malik. So we probably would have to pay a bit more for Matt Rush, even though he's National League. But I think the step up would entice him. Looking in advance to Rotherham, obviously there'll be the preview out the morning of. I'm confident. I have in my league predictions, I had Rotherham finishing high, and I know they're currently in shit. They're struggling. They've got their issues, but I think they've people like Paul Mullen coming in. They've made some decent signings. I think in the long term they might balance out. I could be completely wrong. who cares? The only finish I give a crap about is York. The prediction's just a bit of fun, do you know what I mean? But I would very much... Little Yorkshire derby, it's going to be very, very good. Harry Boyes, incredible debut, going back to the Bristol game, incredible debut by Harry Boyes. There's a lot of expectation now on the lad's shoulders, which is understandable after debuting like that, because holy shit. I think Joe Felix, his performance against Bristol was incredible. He didn't stop. I know he had his doubters in the National League, especially with injuries and stuff, but based on one performance and one performance alone in League Two, because that's all we've got, that was unreal, and it's brilliant to see that kind of a step up from him, especially with new signing Jack Hunt also out for about 4 weeks. Greg Olley has left the club. He's going to AFC Fylde. He did put out a statement which reads that, to be fair, I think he thought he was going to have a lot more to do with York this season. On his departure from York, Greg Olley says, "Thank you for an unforgettable year and lifting that trophy. Coming back into pre-season, I was ready for the step up and I was playing some of my best football, but in a matter of a week, opinions have changed. I'm as fit as ever and ready for the next chapter. All the best." So a lovely, nice message from Greg Olley. And we all wish him the best too. It's exciting. I'm so excited. I'm full of energy, man. Where this will be going up on the same day as recorded, which is Wednesday, the 19th. So we've still got a little bit of time before the Rotherham game. I might go more in depth onto what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I might go a bit more in depth on strikes we could sign another video if I do. If not, the next video will be the preview. But it's an exciting time. I'm very much more optimistic now after seeing York under Lindsey more adapted. I'm not going to sit here and say Lindsey's a good replacement. I still stand by he isn't. But results prove, results win fans over, okay? And that was a great way to do it. Another one at Rotherham will convince people a lot more. It'll convince me more. And we move, right? Unfortunately, Maynard ain't coming back. We all know this, so we got to move forward. Let's back the boys as we always have. And hopefully it's a great step forward in Rotherham. And I'll catch you guys next time.